You win on Wednesday. Hello, this is Pastor Will for You Win on Wednesdays with a life lesson for you every Wednesday, every hump day. So look for the camel. I'd like to use for a thought for just a few moments. It's time to move. I'd like to introduce this by talking about the power of momentum. Imagine, if you will, a steep hill with a bus at the crest. You don't have to push the bus because the weight of the bus moving down the slanted hill creates what's called momentum, the power of momentum. Well, we're in the fall season. It is the season of change. In the fall, the nights come faster, the rains come, and the rains bring cooler temperatures. Every one of these signs are indications that the seasons have changed. Summer is over and the fall has come. And I want you to use the momentum of the fall season. See yourself on that steep hill, and the fall is creating the momentum. I want you to get on the bus because it's time to move. Joshua chapter 1 speaks of this scenario. The scripture says, Moses, my servant, is dead. In other words, that season has ended. Joshua, it's time to move. I want you to take this people over the Jordan. It's time to move. To move where, Pastor Will? To a place called greater, to a place called improvement, to a place called better. Maybe for some of you, it means a different location. Maybe it means a change in career. For some of you, it may mean departing out of a toxic relationship. It may be opening up to a warm and loving relationship. But I've come to say it's time to move. What's fascinating about this is that Moses was bigger than life and Joshua lived in his shadow. But this move does not have anything to do with your ability, with your status. I find it striking that Moses was bigger than life. He was fabulous in terms of stature. Moses was greater, but Joshua went further because God's economy doesn't have anything to do with your ability. Right now, we're in what's called a government shutdown because one group does not have and one group does have, and they're arguing over who gets what. But that's not the way God's economy works. He's saying to you today, it's time to move. How do I know it's time for me to move, Pastor Will? It's time to move because He said it's time to move. He's told you in your spirit, you know, you feel it. You feel this uneasiness because it's time to move. You're dissatisfied with where you are. It's time to move. Some of you can move on God's voice. There are others of you who need a confirmation. You need to hear God send a confirmation. You need to know that God has confirmed what you feel in your spirit. It's time to make a move. Well, some of you, because of the doubt, because of the breadth of the move, you need a confirmation on the confirmation. You remember Gideon? Gideon was told by God to go into the great battle, this confrontation. And Gideon was unable to move on his voice. And so he asked for a confirmation. He said, Lord, I want you to let the fleece be wet and the threshing floor dry as a confirmation on what you said regarding going into battle. And when he gets up in the morning, guess what? The fleece is full of dew. In fact, he wrings it out and the bowl is full of water. And then Joshua begins to ponder how sincere, how great, how awesome this battle is going to be. And he says, Lord, I don't want to make you angry. So I need a confirmation on the confirmation. He said, Lord, what I want you to do is to allow the fleece to be dry and the threshing floor wet. Oh my God, that was a miracle. When he gets up in the morning, guess what? The fleece is bone dry and the threshing floor is wet. It was a confirmation on the confirmation. I've come to say that some of you who are listening to me, God has sent a confirmation on the confirmation. Somebody on your job has affirmed what God said to you. Maybe it was your parent. Maybe it was a movie. Maybe it was a sermon you heard your pastor preach. Maybe it was something you saw on television. Maybe it was your child. Maybe it's this message that I'm sharing with you. It's time to move. Then God gives reassurance. He said to Joshua, as I was with Moses, so I will be with you. Joshua was the assistant to Moses, and so he saw firsthand or heard from Moses his experiences with God. Joshua was familiar with the burning bush experience that Moses had. He was familiar with how he stood in front of Pharaoh and Pharaoh's court. He was familiar with the 10 plagues. Joshua was present at the Red Sea when it parted and they walked on dry land. Joshua experienced his shoes growing on his feet and clothes growing on their back. He saw the water come from the rock. He knew of every challenge that Moses had. And yet he had his own experiences wherein he went as a spy over into the land and God miraculously brought them back. He was assured and reassured that God would give him favor. He said, everywhere your foot trods, and I've come to say to you, he's going to reassure you. He's saying, as I was with Moses, so I'll be with you. I'm going to give you favor. Every relationship you need, I'm going to foster. Every door you need opened, I'm going to open it. I'm going to go before you because I've come to reassure you that it's time to move. I believe in prayer, and I know many of you do as well, and I invite you to pray with me. The number is 712-432 0075. The code is 568066. That's every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 a.m. Central Time. Everyone I know can use prayer.
Jealousy is enraged when it is connected to our low self-esteem. It becomes a flaming fire. It's like gas. It's thrown on it because I have been low all my life, and now you dare to threaten the little that I have. How dare you?
I get it.
Anybody with me?
Yes, sir.
And so the Lord wants us to understand that